Good morning and welcome to another vlog here on Theme Park Worldwide. Today I've made my way down here to Thorpe Park for my first visit of the 2020 season, and actually the third day of the season here at Thorpe Park. Of course, me and Charlotte went to Alton Towers on the 4th of July, the first day that theme parks were allowed to reopen here in the UK. Yesterday we was at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and today I've made my way down here to Thorpe Park. And over the next few days, going to be visiting some more of the theme parks down south. It'll just be me over the next few days before me and Charlotte make our way on our Europe road trip starting at the end of this week. So really exciting, loads to look forward to. But yes, the sun's starting to come out down here at Thorpe Park today. I'm going to take you around the park, put in lots of off-ride footage of all my favourite rides, and of course check out all of the different changes for social distancing measures, ride cleaning, wearing masks on rides. We'll check out all the different changes here at Thorpe Park today. So far, really impressed with the car park procedure. Of course, parking all the cars with gaps in between, so there's space, and also they're giving out a leaflet as well with some information about the masks that need to be worn on rides around the park, and just information about social distancing. Of course, much like all theme parks now, at least for the moment, and I can see this being for the foreseeable future, they are pre-book only, so you do need to pre-book. Of course, I've got a Merlin pass, so I've reserved my place for £1 to get in. But anyway, we'll have a look at the entrance procedures just here. With it being a Merlin attraction, we'll be having our security search. A temperature check is also required to enter into Thorpe Park, and we're going to see all the different changes. Here we go. Let's hope for a nice sunny and relatively quiet day here at Thorpe Park. Let's go inside. So of course, as we make our way under the iconic entrance archway, you can see the security and also temperature check area. They've got all the yellow markings all across the plaza here, of course, to allow for that social distancing. And they've also got the same on that side as well. So we'll have our temperature checked and make our way into Thorpe Park. Right then, so I've had my security check and also temperature check as well. Pretty efficient really with everything that's organised. Now making my way round towards the turnstiles. Of course, you've got all the social distancing markers and queue lines set up here. They've certainly set it up for quite a large capacity here, which is good to see. Of course, I don't think it's going to be too busy today, but they've really thought about it with the overall setup. Well, there we go, really nice and efficient entrance procedure here at Thorpe Park. Good to see they've put loads of social distancing markers down. I like the fact they're handing out the leaflets as you're actually driving in as well, which is fantastic. Just gives you that information before you actually get up towards the entrance plaza. But yes, making our way down now towards the dome, of course the gateway to the island like no other, Thorpe Park. They've redone all the branding here actually for the dome this year. Same with all this on the right hand side. This is all new for 2020. There we go, the island like no other. But yeah, it looks quite fresh in terms of what they've done. It's only a quick sort of refresh of this. I'd love to see them do a big refurbishment of the dome area at some point. But yes, here we are. Of course, plenty of hand sanitizer stations all around as well. Here we go. Let's give this one a bit of a there we go. Oh, loads comes out of that. Look at that. As we make our way over here into the dome. So I'll put my hand sanitizer on and we'll have a look round. So here in the dome, what used to be known as Finn's Bar and Grill has now been refurbished to Infinity Bar and Kitchen, as we can see just over there from the refreshed signage. Also some new seating here and decor as well. Very modern feel all about it. I think it looks fantastic actually compared to how it was before. It's only quite a light refresh, nothing too major, but it's just freshened it up a little bit as well. Of course, you've got the island shop. We'll have a look in there later on. And up on the screen just here, you can see they've actually got lots of information about masks that needs to be worn on different attractions. Make sure it's secure. There we go, a little demo on how to put your mask on. So yeah, it's good to see they've really thought about all this, and it's very clear instructions as you're making your way into the park. So anyway, I'm going to make my way out of the double doors out in front of us and out there onto the island like no other. Let's go and ride some rides. Probably head round towards the Swarm first. It's my favourite ride here at Thorpe Park. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the social distancing measures are in place. And also here as well at the top, all the projectors, what they've got on the top with all the information. Very, very good. I'm really impressed with what we can see here at the entrance to Thorpe Park so far. I think they've done a fantastic job when it comes to advertising everything about the social distancing and the restrictions in place here at the park. So park hours today are 10 until 5, and I tell you what, it's fantastic to see this view again just here. The skyline at Thorpe Park really is something special. Great to see all the different coasters and other rides that make up Thorpe Park from this angle. Of course, the Swarm will head first off to the right hand side. Stealth over there in the distance. Oh, that was good timing, wasn't it, with the test cycle? Of course, Detonator, Nemesis Inferno, Storm Surge, Colossus, and we can't see it from this point, but of course you've got Saw the Ride down in that direction as well. But yeah, it's actually only 5 to 10. They've opened up early because park hours are from 10 till 5, but they've opened up early just to let people in through the entrance so it doesn't build up too much, and they're holding people in the usual spots just all the way around here before they open that at 10 o'clock and let people move forwards into the park. Right, let's go down to the Swarm. Here we go then, so it's just gone 10 o'clock and they've led us on to the rest of the park. Obviously, with them holding people inside the park there, it's kind of meant that there's been a little bit of a rush where everyone's congregated together. So maybe that's something what they need to look at, because obviously everyone was really nicely spread out at the entrance, but because they've actually held us before letting us fully into the park, it's meant that everyone just sort of rushed forward at one point. So yeah, maybe that's something what they need to look at. Obviously, it's not too busy today, so it's not too much of an issue, but I could see maybe on a busier day that being a problem. But here we go, let's make our way down to the Swarm. Looking forward to giving it a go. Let's see what the operations are like. Looking forward to seeing what they're doing in terms of which roads they're going to be loading. Is it going to be full trains with this? I mean, now it's a meter social distancing. I imagine it will be, but we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. As mentioned in our previous vlogs, the same as other parks really, masks are mandatory on quite a few of the rides, and it's the same situation here at Thorpe Park. Masks are required, but of course here at Theme Park Worldwide, me and Charlotte are making sure we're wearing them as we're going around the parks as well. We're doing a lot of travelling up and down the country and from later in the week abroad, so we want to be wearing those masks, not just for our safety, but for everybody else's too. Right, let's go on the Swarm and we'll see you when we come off. So I'll put in some footage of what I can do of the ride, and let's see what's going on. Expected, you've got the social distancing markers all throughout the queue line. As we can see here, the baggage hold has actually been permanently blocked up there as well, which is interesting to see. Shall we go to the right? Oh, all right, no worries. Let's go to the right, here we go. So you've got the yellow markers all around here as well, as we can see. None on the steps just here, but they continue up here at the top. Here we go then, so as we can see from the train, it is fully loaded. Of course, you've got more than a metre in between the rows, meaning that they don't need to leave any empty rows for social distancing on the Swarm. It'll be interesting to see what the situation is on other attractions here at Thorpe Park. But here we go, this is the first train of the day, off we go. Of course, face masks also must be worn here on the Swarm as well. We can see how there's an empty row there at the back. I'm not too sure exactly why. That may be just because of there wasn't enough people here at the time. Of course, we were all making our way through the queue line, or of course them seats might be out of action. But yeah, 2 trains in operation on the Swarm, so I imagine it'll be pretty much seamless operations on here. With it being full trains, 2 in action, yeah, I imagine we'll get on this quite quickly, especially from this point. Maybe 2 trains and we'll be on. So I'll put in some off-ride footage of the Swarm so you can see it in action. Let's see how this one is with my mask. again, so just come off the Swarm, the park's B&M Wing Rider that opened back in 2012. Fantastic to get back on what is one of my favourite roller coasters here in the UK. Absolutely love the Swarm. I was here on the opening day in 2012, and ever since that day, it's been a special ride to me. I love all the theming around the area. Certainly is fantastic. In terms of the ride, it was running beautiful, and we've said this in the past couple of vlogs, me and Charlotte, from Alton Towers and Blackpool Pleasure Beach, but these rides actually feel a lot more intense because we've not been on roller coasters for so long. But it was amazing to get back on the Swarm. I was on the back row, my mask was fine, and obviously being on the back, I could see everybody else, and nobody's else mask flew off or anything like that. They all stayed on. So just goes to show, doesn't it? I think because you've got the wind blowing towards you really on these rides, it's more pushing the mask towards your face instead of actually blowing it off and it going onto the floor. So there you go. But no, I was really impressed. In terms of crowds today, it's very light. I mean, the Swarm is now walk on, as we can see behind. There's nobody there at all. So I imagine I'll soon get round the park today. So probably going to head over towards Stealth because I'm really interested to see how the masks hold up on a ride that's going to launch me to 83 miles an hour. So I think we'll head over to Stealth. Obviously at Alton Towers, Rita was closed and it still is at the moment as far as I'm aware. So I've not done one of the Intamin rocket coasters yet with a mask. So I'm interested to see how that goes. So we'll head over to Amity Speedway towards Stealth. So as we can see, all the pathways around this part of Thorpe Park, through Angry Birds Land and up towards Stealth, are very quiet. Of course, it's limited numbers here at Thorpe Park, much like many theme parks out there around the world right now that are all doing limited numbers and capacity. But out of the 3 parks that I've done so far, since they've reopened on the 4th of July, this is definitely the quietest. So let's head down to Stealth and give this a go. I can't quite see the wait time from this point, but we'll see it a little bit closer. So as you can see on the floor there just behind me, you've got all of the yellow social distancing markers here in the queue line for Stealth. It was actually advertised, to my surprise, at 65 minutes. I mean, you saw how quiet the paths were walking up just. I think they're just trying to cover the backs really, and it's better to sort of deliver and say, right, you know, the queue time is more than what it is, so people aren't too disappointed if it does end up being that long. I've waited about 5 minutes so far. It's running 2 trains and we'll be straight round up into the station here. So I imagine it's maybe 15-20 minutes maximum, but at least they're covering the backs with that one and putting the queue line a little bit higher than what it is. I mean, you saw how quiet the paths were just when we walked towards Stealth, so I think that's what they're doing. But yeah, all social distancing markers in place. They're all the same sort of colour and stuff here at Thorpe Park, it seems. Obviously what we've seen at Alton Towers and Blackpool, they change in different areas and to different rides and stuff. But from what we can see here at Thorpe Park, they're all the same, and you can see, there you go, some more of the social distancing markers. But let's go on Stealth. I'll put some off-ride footage in and let's see how this mask copes on this one. First proper intense launch coaster wearing a mask, so this will be really interesting. Well, I tell you what, it was absolutely fantastic to get back on Stealth here at Thorpe Park. The mask, it was absolutely fine. In fact, there was no movement at all on the launch. I really thought there would be, either on the launch or just coming down from the top. But no, it was absolutely fine. No one else's as well. I was towards the back of the train. I just took some off-ride shots, as you've seen as well. And yeah, no mask flying off. So yeah, it's pretty much confirmed over the past 3 days that masks on rides are fine. They're good to go. In terms of the loading procedures on that, it was advertised 65. I mean, they put it down to 30 now, which is a little bit more realistic because trains only waited 15 minutes, so not too bad at all. 2 trains, in terms of you can't wait for the front rows or anything like that. You can't pick your rows at the moment, which is completely understandable. But yeah, they're keeping it in the station, really free, of course, so you can leave a gap in between on the train as well. So there is gaps between parties on Stealth due to how close some of the seating is. It's not a metre between, so they've done that on Stealth. But even so, it got through maybe 150 people in about 15 minutes. One thing to think as well is at the moment there's no fast track, so of course that helps the main queue. I'd say that from where I waited, it was probably running quicker than it would have on a normal day without all the COVID-19 practices what they've had to put into place. So yeah, really impressed so far at Thorpe Park. I think they're doing a really good job. Hand sanitizer at the entrance and at the exit as well. But yeah, I'll be coming back to Stealth later and do some more re-rides. Love Stealth. The Swarm and Stealth are my 2 favourites here at Thorpe Park. Absolutely love them. But we'll go down to another B&M coaster now, Nemesis Inferno. Let's go and see what's happening down at the old volcano. So just as I was walking away from Stealth, they just did an announcement just saying the ride's going to be stopping for a temporary amount of time just whilst they clean the train. So again, they're making it nice and clear over the announcements just so everybody in the surrounding area and queue line knows what's going on in terms of cleaning down the trains, of course, because of COVID-19. So anyway, we've made our way here to our 3rd roller coaster of the day. It's Nemesis Inferno. It's advertised at 80 minutes. I mean, this seems like where everybody is today. I mean, look at this. Very, very busy all around the corner, but I'm going to join the queue. I'm going to see what happens. Let's see if it is. I mean, with Stealth, it was very overly advertised. Of course, we know there's no fast track, so let's have a little, let's have a look and see what happens. I really feel like they are just putting them a little bit higher than what they actually are. Of course, just to, yeah, make sure that they're always over-delivering. So let's go and have a ride on Nemesis Inferno. And we'll have a look at what's going on in terms of the station with this one. Well, I thought I'm going to have to show you this. I don't think I've been this far down the queue line since waiting for this ride when it opened in 2003. Right underneath the lift hill here. I mean, I didn't even know this part of the queue line still existed. They probably had to cut back all the plants around here. I mean, this has probably been overgrown for years. But yeah, they've got the full queue line open just, of course, to make sure that everybody's spread out. And again, you've got the yellow dots down there on the floor. I won't keep showing you the same ones. They're the same on every ride, but just give you a bit of an idea. And oh, there we go. We've reached a stopping point. Do I wait here? I don't know. Let's see. So as we can see, we've got a member of staff who's actually stopping too many people coming inside the station. Waited about an hour actually to get to this point, so you know, a little bit less than the advertised queue time, but the ride has gone down twice for its cleaning during that period as well. But as we can see, 2 trains in operation. What's interesting is they're actually missing rows, whereas on Nemesis at Alton Towers, which is a B&M inverted coaster too, and they're actually filling all the rows on the train. So there we go, something interesting to see. Hey, how you doing? Theme Park Worldwide on YouTube, check it out. But yeah, so it's interesting to see. But anyway, I'll talk more about it in terms of the social distancing that was taking place in the queue line, or should I say not so much of, when I come off the ride. I've just come off Nemesis Inferno, as mentioned up in the station, waited just over an hour for that, so slightly under the advertised queue time. During that period, the ride did temporarily close for the cleaning procedures. That takes about 5 minutes. They don't mess about. They've got plenty of staff up there in the station to be able to do that. In terms of the loading on the ride, as you saw there in the clip, they are missing a row, which I would love to know the logic behind compared to Nemesis at Alton Towers. If they were doing the same there, I would understand it. But yeah, I'd love to know the reason why they decided here to miss that row. But still, they are the operations that they're running on there, and of course I'll respect that. Something that I am a bit disappointed in was in the queue line. Of course the park have done the best they can in terms of putting markers down, and staff were actually making sure that they were telling people over the tannoy announcements, and also some of the hosts that were waiting about sort of around the area, telling people to maintain that social distancing, and there wasn't much social distancing happening at all, especially in the second part of that queue line. What they really need to do is either put some screens up there on the cattle pen queue lines, or just make sure they're using one part of it instead of using the whole up and down section, because there was hardly any social distancing taking place there at all. Not the park's fault, they were trying the best with it, but maybe just, you know, so they can try and add some more to it, putting some screens up or something along the side might be the best thing for them to do. But yeah, it was great to get back on there. As much as I prefer Nemesis at Alton Towers, still always great to get back on Inferno. It's a good solid coaster in the sunshine. It was great to get on there and have a ride. But let's carry on and go check out some of the other rides here at Thorpe Park. Well, it's very quiet around the Dockyard themed area here at Thorpe Park. Of course, normally quite a busy area actually, especially with it being right in the middle of the park. And of course, you've got Darren Brown's Ghost Train off here to the right-hand side. This is one of the attractions that is currently closed at the moment. Of course, social distancing on this attraction would be really, really hard, if not impossible. But yeah, it is closed at the moment, Darren Brown's Ghost Train. It's not one of my favourites here at Thorpe Park. We normally miss it anyway, to be honest, because it's just so unreliable. But of course, you've got the clear signage out the front just here, of course, making it clear that the ride is closed, and it does say COVID-19 safety. Some really nice clear signposts here at Thorpe Park. I really feel like they've done the best they can do in terms of signposts and floor markings, really. It just needs people to follow it. But I tell you what, this looks abandoned, doesn't it? If I just took that picture there or left that frame, you wouldn't think that was a theme park with all the boarded up windows, and I know that's part of the theme in there, but the fact you've got all the weeds growing in the floor here as well, you would not think that was in a theme park, would you? The Ghost Train shop's closed as well. This isn't the only attraction closed actually at Thorpe Park. From what I've seen, the water rides seem to be closed as well. Rumba Rapids, Storm Surge, Tidal Wave, they look like they're all closed, but we'll have a closer look when we get a bit further around this way into Amity. So yeah, unfortunately, Tidal Wave is closed here at Thorpe Park. Normally you'd have the water making its way down the drop just there. In terms of signage, there's actually nothing at the entrance saying that it's closed due to COVID-19. And what's quite interesting is there's actually floor markings in place throughout the queue line and around the area. So it makes me think it might just be a temporary measure. Of course, we're only 3 days into the season so far here at Thorpe Park. It didn't open earlier this year or anything like that. So maybe it's just not quite ready yet to open, but hopefully it'll be back open soon, especially over the summer, as the weather hopefully will be quite nice over the coming weeks throughout the summer. So we're at the front of Storm Surge then now, and of course we've got the closed sign just out the front here. Again, it's not mentioning if this is due to COVID-19 requirements or not, but there is a clear sign out the front that it's closed today. But you have again got all the social distancing markers in place down this way throughout the queue line, which makes me think it's hopefully not going to be too far away from being able to open at some point in the future. It also looks like it's the same for Rumba Rapids, but I'll have a closer look from around there. We'll have a walk past later on. We'll go and see Storm and a Team Cup and that sort of area and what's going on. But first, I want to make my way now down towards Colossus. We can just see the Cobra Roll peeking through the trees there and behind Storm Surge. So we'll make our way down this way and head towards Colossus and see what the queue line is like for that. I can't wait to get on Colossus. I love it. I think it's a great ride. Yes, it's a little bit rough, but it certainly was riding really well last season compared to how it was previously. So I'm looking forward to getting back on it. So in 2002, Thorpe Park opened the world's first 10 looping roller coaster, of course Colossus, here at Thorpe Park. And yeah, it's quite interesting because right now Flamingo Land up in Yorkshire, also here in the United Kingdom, are building a 10 inversion roller coaster. I was there last week. Check out the construction update if you've not yet seen it. And it's pretty much the same layout to this. However, it's got some slightly different profiling. The drop's different. Also some of the track style, what's used is different as well. But yeah, it's certainly interesting to see because I love Colossus. Looking forward to getting back on this. That one's running empty at the moment. I imagine that's because of the cleaning that's taking place. Obviously, normally before the pandemic, if a ride was running empty, you'd think, oh, it's down because of technical issues, but I bet it's cleaning. Here we go.
There will be a slight delay in the morning of Colossus due to insurance cleaning. What's going to be a slight delay in the morning of Colossus due to insurance cleaning. Thank you, patience, and hope to see you soon.
I do like how clear they're making it on the announcements though. You know, it's great how clear they're being with it, keeping everybody updated. So I know now, yeah, it's going to be down for 5-10 minutes whilst they do the cleaning, but it's still worth getting in the queue line. So let's head up this way, go and get in the queue for Colossus. Right then, so it's currently an advertised wait time of 45 minutes for Colossus. So we're going to make my way in and go and join the queue line now. Let's go and have a look at the social distancing measures in place down here. I find the new soundtrack to Colossus quite atmospheric. I do really miss the old one. I used to love the da 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 da. Just used to make it for me, but don't get me wrong, this is a great track, but the old one just had something about it. Here's all your markers and here's the back of the queue. Let's see if it is 45 minutes from this point, shall we? Saw the ride and samurai over there, we'll check out those after as well. Here we go then, over into the station for Colossus. Waited about 50 minutes to get to this point. The ride went down twice for cleaning during this time. But as we can see, it's just about to reopen. The air gates will be opening shortly. These riders will be getting on board. As you can see, they're also missing rows in between different parties. So say there's 4 of you in the same group, then you'll be able to ride in rows next to each other, such as what these guys are doing. However, in between parties, there'll be a row separating you. So anyway, I'll get on board Colossus and I'll put in some off-ride footage so you can see the ride in action. It was absolutely fantastic to get back on Colossus, one of my favourite rides here at Thorpe Park. And when it opened in 2002, it was kind of the original thrill ride for Thorpe Park. And the fact that 2020 it's still standing, and don't get me wrong, it does need a refurbishment. I'd love to see it fully repainted. I mean, they did some sections a couple of years back, but it really does need a bit of TLC just to bring it up with all the other rides here at Thorpe Park. However, it was great to get back on it. It really was a fantastic attraction here at the park, and 10 different inversions. I look forward to seeing Flamingo Land's ride. I expect it's going to open 2021 now. It was originally going to be this year, but also it's got lap bars as well. Of course, this has got the over-the-shoulder restraints, so it'll be fantastic to experience it. There's some other changes with it, but one of the major ones is the fact that instead of using a chain lift hill, it'll use a cable lift hill. And also as well, the first drop that you can see just behind me is considerably different on the Flamingo Land coaster. Like I say, if you've not yet seen it, check out that construction update that I posted last week here on on theme park worldwide. But yeah, it was a 50-minute wait for that one, and you know what, it was worth it. A little bit more than what was advertised, but at the end of the day, when they've got to do the cleaning procedures, at the end of the day, they also don't know how many people are in each party that are waiting in the queue line. So, oh, it's noisy lift though, isn't it? I love it, so iconic. And yeah, you know, it's one of them things, but I've got on it, one of my favourites here at Thorpe Park. Up next, round to the Gerstlauer Eurofighter, opened in 2009. It's Saw the Ride. Come on, let's go have a look at Saw, see what the queue's like for this one. Right then, so we've got an advertised queue time of 60 minutes for Saw the Ride. Remember, enter at your own risk. Let's make our way around this way, give it a go. 5th roller coaster of the day, the last of the major roller coasters here at Thorpe Park, I would say. We'll go and check out the others though after this. But yeah, let's have a ride on Saw, 60 minutes, let's see what it is. I'll put a bit of hand sanitizer on. There we go, lovely. So we've got all of the yellow social distancing markers down here as well in the queue line for Saw. Seems very quiet. There's normally quite a lot of audio and sound effects and a bit of speech actually playing around here as well. Maybe they've turned that off with the queue line maybe going to be going a bit slower. Of course, with this only having 8 seats across 2 rows per train, I imagine this to be one of the slower ones in terms of the queue line to move. So let's see what happens. I mean, we're waiting all around the outside here. Let's see what happens in the next 60 minutes. Or more, or less, who knows? Let's find out. Let the games begin. So wait just over 30 minutes to get to this point. Not too bad, of course, just at the bottom now of the steps before we head up into the station. So I'll see you after my ride on Saw the Ride, the Eurofighter that, like I say, opened in 2009. I was here opening day for that actually, back in 2009. Great memories from that. But we'll go up into the station. I'll put some footage in there so that you can see the operation. And I'll tell you about the experience when I come off. In total, waited 35 minutes there for Saw the Ride. Advertised 60. There was the cleaning that happened there as well during that time, so not too bad at all. Quite impressed with that. In terms of the loading procedures, of course, you got the hand sanitizer. Worth pointing out, the baggage hold's still the same as well in operation, where you do get given a wristband, so you definitely want to be using the hand sanitizer when you come off as well, once you've had the wristband on for the baggage hold. But yeah, in terms of the loading on the actual ride, because I was on my own, I actually had a whole row to myself. I could sit where I wanted on that row. There was a party of 2 behind me, so they had the row behind. So there was only 3 of us on a train what could normally seat 8, but of course that's just the way it is for now. But I was quite happy having a row to myself. I sat on the inner seat. Normally I don't like sitting on the ends, you know what it's like, it's a bit rough Saw. And that time it was a little bit painful, but luckily in the middle it's not too bad. In terms of some of the changes for 2020, they've definitely changed the UV black lights what they've got in there this year and updated them. In fact, they're a little bit too bright now because you can see some of the walls and stuff at the side, so that could do with looking at. I know it's not really the priority at the moment with everything else they've got going on, but just, you know, moving forwards. And along with that, there's some new lighting effects on the body on that first inversion that's inside as well. So yeah, that was actually looking a lot better there. It was a little bit brighter and you could notice the body underneath a lot more. So overall, it was good to get back on Saw. It's not one of my favourites here at Thorpe Park. It was in 2009. I loved it when it opened, but with these Gerstlauer coasters, whether it's a Eurofighter and Infinity, you know, they don't age well in my opinion. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a look around the corner now at the Mondial Top Scan, known as Samurai. That's in action, so we're going to go and see the operation there. Probably won't ride it, because I've heard about the operation from a few other people, so it might take a little while, but let's go around there and have a look and I'll share it with you guys.
of your ride may take a little bit longer just because we need a minimum of 15 people and we're only allowed 5 people per row anyway, and we're only allowed 1 group per row. Just wanted to let you know. Thank you.
So here it is, Samurai, the force of the mighty warrior. And you just heard the announcement playing just, so that kind of explains what I'm going to now anyway. So you need 15 people minimum to be able to run this Mondale top scan. And obviously each row can only have that party on. So if I went on there on my own, I would have to have a whole row to myself. So that's going to take a very, very long time. It's also not very fair on people in the queue line, so I'm not going to have a ride. I've been on Samurai many times and it's got a bit of a wait, so I'm not going to hold it up anymore by going on there. But yeah, it just gives you a bit of an idea. I'm glad it's open though. I'd rather it be open and them doing that. Just be aware, you know, because obviously, say loads of people come down here who are in groups on their own, single riders such as myself today, then we wouldn't be able to go on anyway because you need 15 people. So some would have to wait for the next one, and yeah, it could be a bit of a mess. So, you know, it's probably best with Samurai that I give it a miss today. But I'm glad that it's open. Of course, they've got to do what they've got to do, and I completely understand that. You know, but obviously with the ride needing 15 riders, it's not the easiest in terms of for social distancing. However, it's better to see it in action and operating than not open at all. Oh, it really is a Thorpe Park classic, the Rocky Express. I used to love this when I was a kid. It's an action here at Thorpe Park, there you go. Along with that as well, you got the timber tugboat, that's open in terms of your family offerings. Like I say, we'll have a look around the rest of the park, some of the other family rides that we've got, such as the Dodgems over in Angry Birds Land. We'll go and see if those are on. Storm in a Teacup, have a look around by Rumba Rapids. But yeah, Lumber Jump is closed, but again, there's clear signage out the front. But yeah, don't worry, you can get a nice Zamperla rocking tug if you want to, down here in the Old Town themed area. Right, let's carry on having a walk round. May as well go and try and get the other 2 remaining coasters in. So of course Thorpe Park is very well known for its fantastic selection of flat rides. Unfortunately Rush is closed today, but you have got the signage just out the front here. Just state that it's closed of course due to the COVID-19 safety, which is understandable, but hopefully we'll get back on Rush soon. Let's make our way around this corner. Seems like Vortex is going there in the background, the KMG Afterburner. Just in front of it here, Zodiac, the Huss Enterprise. And round to the left here, we'll see if Quantum's on. I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure maybe I saw it through the trees earlier on, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it's in action at the moment, but obviously it could be loading. I mean, I love Quantum, big fan of a magic carpet ride. Go have a little look around here at Vortex. Probably won't ride these for now. Got about an hour and a half left of the day, so I'm probably just going to have a little walk round and try and do the other coasters. I mean, the Flying Fish, try and get a ride on there, and also the Walking Dead, the ride. But yeah, Quantum is in action. That's good to see, because it had quite a bit of downtime last year. Good that Quantum's on. Let's have a look at the loading procedure on here, shall we? Quantum looks like they're just missing 1 row in between parties, the same as what we see on a lot of the other coasters here at Thorpe Park today. Have a look round here now towards Vortex and see what's going on with the loading there as well. As we can see over here at Vortex, they're actually loading 1 group per 4 seats. So I imagine if I went on this one as a single rider, I'd have to have 3 empty seats next to me on this one. So there you go, that explains probably why they're advertising a queue time of 50 minutes. I mean, I'm not too sure if it is that at the moment, but I can see people around the back just there. So yeah, I can imagine it's quite a wait. Again, it all depends on the cleaning regimes and also how many people there is in the queue line as well in terms of them groups. A lot of people waiting in that queue line could all be parties of 4. So if so, I imagine they'll be able to fill all seats. But as we can see, you know, there's not that many people on there considering how many it can normally hold. So yeah, it's one of them just to think about. That's why I wanted to come and just show you all, you know, these distancing measures and throughputs, how they've been affected, and just give you an idea on how many people you may see on these different rides at the park. But yeah, there's a little look at Vortex. So in terms of the social distancing on Zodiac, which is the Huss Enterprise, I'm not exactly too sure what they're doing on there because it hasn't really got a queue. There's only a couple of people waiting, and I think they were from the same party, so obviously it's not going to apply to those. But I'd imagine they may possibly be leaving a gondola in between parties. However, they may also be over a metre apart, so I'm not exactly too sure. However, you know, it's good to see that they're really thinking about it even on the flat rides in terms of the placement of people, as we saw there with Quantum and also Vortex as well. Just thought I'd have a little walk now around the rest of the park. I mean, I'm going to head over to The Walking Dead, the ride, go and do the indoor roller coaster, used to be known as X, so we'll head round there shortly. Also have a look in the big gift shop as well. But yeah, in terms of the area around here, you know, lots of space for you to walk around, get away from people if you want to. Plenty of benches. Hey, how you doing? And just get out to the side and just, you know, get a bit of space if you need to as well. So anyway, let's head round to The Walking Dead, the ride, go and have a little ride on there, and I'll see you afterwards where we'll have a little look inside the shop. Oh, so I've walked around to The Walking Dead, the ride, and unfortunately it is closed today due to the COVID-19 safety. I didn't actually realise that this was one of the rides that was closed. The only roller coaster that, of all of the coasters here at the park, that is actually closed because of COVID-19. Of course, you got the water rides that are closed today, and a couple of the other attractions, such as Rush, for example. But yeah, I didn't realise The Walking Dead was closed as well. So yeah, not really much to see around this area. Of course, with that closed, Darren Brown's Ghost Train that we can see inside that wonderfully themed building just there as well. But what we will do is have a little walk around this corner. We'll head into the Thorpe Megastore. We'll go around this way, and also I'll show you this new food unit just here on the left actually as well. So this is all part of the Dockyard area. We've actually got some new music playing around here as well. You can just hear that in the background. But yeah, you've got some new seating down here, and they do like halloumi, fries, and all that sort of stuff over here. So yeah, I quite like the seating, and of course it just fills in a nice little gap here that there was really nothing there before. But yeah, as you can see, halloumi, wraps and chips. But yeah, new little unit what they've had. It's a shipping container that's being cladded out, but they've done a good job with this. I like this sort of seating. Love to see more of this in the Merlin parks. Alton Towers could benefit from some nice seating like this with the little covers. Lovely, isn't it? But yeah, let's go around to Thorpe Megastore. Let's go and have a look at the merch. Right then, here we are in Thorpe Megastore. Of course, they've completely changed the layout around here and made it a one-way operation. You also have to use hand sanitizer and have a basket to come in as well. So I don't plan on buying anything, but you just have to have a basket as part of the restrictions. They've got a one-way system in action. Of course, you've got all your drinks and chocolate and stuff around here. But we'll go around the corner and see some of the merchandise, what they've got. Oh, look at these. These are quite nice. Thorpe Junction. Of course, Darren Brown Ghost Train bags, what they've got there, and a few other different ones. They've got the pink heart ones there with Thorpe Park on, and also the ones with the skyline of the park there as well. Absolutely loving this new Stealth t-shirt just here. £10, really good bargain. Of course, you got the coaster there, 2006, the opening year. I really like how you've got the blue in the background, love that. Got the Swarm t-shirt there as well. It's one of those where you can sort of move it backwards and forwards. Obviously I won't do it because they don't really want us to touch things unnecessarily in the shops. There we go, the random pram there as well. Of course, all your Darren Brown's Ghost Train merchandise here as well. I don't really recognise anything there new. I know that some of these mugs and stuff have been sold for a few years, some bits from when the attraction actually opened. Yeah, they've completely adapted the layout. That's normally the exit there to The Walking Dead, the ride, so I don't see that opening for quite a while, to be honest, because as we can see, it's been fully blocked off. Not too keen on this shirt design here. I mean, I do like how it's embroidered, but I think it would have been nice if the full Thorpe Park logo was embroidered on there, to be honest. Then you got all these different pin badges. Love the pin collection. £4 for these. I mean, you got Stealth there, Nemesis Inferno, Colossus, #Rollin, Rush. That's a good one, isn't it, for Rush? Don't think I've seen that before. WWTP Radio, of course, what's on in the background now, here in the shop and all around this themed area. All your lanyards, Thorpe Park Monopoly, of course, down there. All sorts of stuff. And then we move on to some of the retro merch. So you've got all your Thorpe Park 40 stuff there. But look at this, Thorpe Park Rangers Club, the old mascots at the park. And you've got the t-shirts, pin badge collection up the top just there. And there's all the prices for the sort of heritage stuff what they've brought out here, all for Thorpe Park Rangers. Loving that. Really, really nice collection of stuff. I mean, they're £15 there. The mugs, as we can see, are £8. There we go, limited edition of 1500. Do really, really like those. You've also got a new range of teddy bears this year as well. Stealth, Colossus just there, the Swarm down at the bottom, Nemesis Inferno. They're really nice. I probably say I like the Colossus one the most actually. I think because it matches his eyes, doesn't it? Like the hoodie and the branding. Yeah, that's really nice. Like I said, they completely changed the layout around in here. Have a look at your resins. Not a fan of that flying fish one, I'll be honest, at £9. But I love this samurai one. Like, that's new and that's fantastic. Loving that. That is brilliant. Of course, you got the tidal wave one there. That's not too bad either, but that samurai one is brilliant. All your different Saw merchandise, Saw mugs there. That's £10. Some of your stuff for Nemesis Inferno. Colossus resin. Look at that. That's great. Bit of WWTP on in the background. Love it. And then of course all your merchandise there for the Swarm. So quite a few new items that they've got. I'm enjoying this stealth new stuff what they've got. This is a brilliant t-shirt just here, look at that. The colours of the stealth logo sort of all put together. But yeah, I think they've done a good job with the layout just in here. They've completely made it a one-way walk through and of course limiting the people coming in as well. Well, there you go. That's a little look inside the Thorpe Megastore. A lot of this stuff over here I seem to recognise from before what they've got really. A lot of the jumbo mugs and stuff they've had last year. A couple of new bits here and there. But yeah, really pleased with it. I think they've done a good job here on the island like no other. A nice walk around there in the Thorpe Megastore, seeing some of that new merchandise, but I especially like some of them new resins and also the stealth t-shirt. I thought that was fantastic. Anyway, in terms of roller coasters, may as well go on the final one that's open for me to go on today. The only coaster closed, like I say, is the Walking Dead The Ride, but I've still got the Flying Fish to go on, so I may as well go and fly with the fish whilst I'm here. 5-minute wait, let's go on, and then I'll have a little walk around towards Rumba Rapids and Storm in a Teacup and see what's going on around that area.
Can you tell me?
Hot Worldwide on YouTube.
Hey! I love it.
See that in a video later on.
Special Jobs will be back after this.
A wonderful ride there on the Flying Fish. There we go, fantastic. Great little family coaster. I've just had a ride on Detonator, the park's Fadbury Drop Tower, and it was good to get back on there and see some fantastic views across the park. Quite surprised that King Pig's Wild Hog Dodgems, blimey that's a mouthful to say, is open, especially because the Dodgems were closed at Blackpool Pleasure Beach yesterday, of course because of like touching the steering wheel and that sort of thing, but I imagine they're just doing a lot of enhanced cleaning procedures to keep the Dodgems open here at Thorpe Park. But yeah, I know they're two completely different companies, but yeah, I was kind of expecting these Dodgems to be closed. So I'm at Chessington. Hey, how you doing? I'm at Chessington tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to seeing their operations, and of course if the Dodgems are going to be open there in Wild Asia, we will soon find out tomorrow. But yeah, let's have a little walk down this way. Looks like Storm in a Team Cup is also in operation. Another family ride here at Thorpe Park that's open today. Off-ride footage there from Storm in a Teacup. I've walked around the corner and Rumba Rapids is running for test purposes only. Shame really because the sun's out, it's quite warm, I've got my shorts on. I would have gone round there for a lap, but it must have been having some technical issues. I believe it was actually supposed to be open. I wasn't too sure if it was closed because of COVID-19 regulations or not, but I was surprised if so, because obviously Congo River Rapids at Alton Towers is open, and that was open on Saturday when we were there. So yeah, it was supposed to be open this, but obviously it's just having some technical issues, isn't it? Completely understandable, these things happen, but obviously that has led to there being no water rides in action today, with the closure of Storm Surge and also Tidal Wave as well. You know, it's one of them things, isn't it? But yeah, obviously it's good to see that it's testing. Hopefully that'll be back open soon for anybody who's coming down to Thorpe Park soon. So I'm really impressed with how much I've managed to see and do today here at Thorpe Park. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, of course, with the different regulations in place, but I think Thorpe Park have done the best they can do. There's a lot of markers down in the floor. Along with that as well, they're doing regular announcements about the cleaning, keeping people updated, no problems at all. And there's just over an hour to go, and some of these rides are walk-on. I'm just looking over at Stealth now, straight up into the station. Looks like the Swarm's the same as well over there in the distance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a couple of re-rides on these coasters. Of course, I went on them earlier on. So yeah, I'm going to do a couple of re-rides. I'll put in a few more shots. And yeah, before we come to the end of today's vlog, here from Thorpe Park, my first visit of 2020, and it's been a really good one.
Motorbikes, monster trucks, wrestled alligators, abseiling. No, the snake was in the underpants.
So after doing a few more re-rides on Stealth and the Swarm, it's come to the end of my day here at an island like no other. My first visit of 2020 on their third operational day of the year. And you know what? I've had a fantastic day. Overall, I'm really impressed with what Thorpe Park have done. I think the way they've set out the social distancing and the queue lines and around the park is really good. I do feel like there's quite a few people who haven't been following those rules today. So please, 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 if you are coming to these theme parks, make sure you're following the social distancing rules. It's for the safety of yourself, the staff, and everybody around. But yeah, in terms of that, it's probably just Nemesis Inferno really, where I feel like Thorpe Park could have maybe done a little bit more, maybe not use the cattle pen queue lines, or possibly put up like some perspex around there. That would have been good just to sort of block it off a little bit more. But in general, what they've done around the park is great. I mean, queue lines like Saw the Ride, Colossus, the Swarm, Stealth, all of them really nicely spread out. It's just Nemesis Inferno really where they could maybe do more. But then when you think it is up to the people who come here as well to follow the restrictions. Along with that, just wanted to mention about food. From what I've seen, like KFC's open, Burger King, a lot of the other food outlets around the park. I've not really spoke about food at all today because obviously I've brought my lunchbox, you know what I'm like, saving the pound. But yeah, you know, in terms of food, it seems like it's been a pretty much full offering. Obviously, it's a shame about the water rides that have been closed, so just be aware if you are coming down, the water rides may be shut. However, it seems Rumba Rapids may be opening soon, so it's one of those, isn't it, if you are coming down here. Hopefully, soon we'll be back on the likes of Tidal Wave, especially, Storm Surge, and some of the others, like Depth Charge, for example, the slides just behind me. But yeah, it's been a really good day, great to get back on the Swarm, absolutely love it. Mask has been absolutely fine, everyone's been following the rules. I've not seen any masks go flying off either on the rides. That was a concern, of course, before getting back in the parks, but it's not been anything to really worry about. But overall, fantastic day here at Thorpe Park. Thanks for joining us for another vlog here on Theme Park Worldwide. Tomorrow, we're going to be back at Chessington World of Adventures. Me and Charlotte was there a few weeks ago for the zoo when they reopened. This time we're back for the theme park, the first time going back since March. Obviously, when I was there in March as well, the rainforest area wasn't quite finished yet, so it'll be nice to get on them rides in there as well. But there we go. Thanks for joining me here at Thorpe Park. Overall, great day. Can't complain at the operations. It's been quite quiet. You know, they've done a really good job. Fair play to all the staff. They've been trying the best today to get everybody to follow them social distancing rules. And overall, it's been great. So thanks for joining me. Sean Sandbrook here from Thorpe Park, and I'll see you tomorrow at Chessington. That means it's time to cue those credits. See you in the next vlog.